Athletic actually put out their own, and they've been doing this last couple of years. Actually, they actually put out their own NFL rankings. But what they did, they do it in tiers. Actually, now they said
they're starting to cover their behinds, and at this point, EJ Christian, I'm forced and compelled to do something that I don't normally do, and that is to say, you are braver than them because you don't do that. I'm going to hide behind my tiers. Bullcrap. You're ranking them when you rank.
To be fair, though, to them, I think they're still ranked because they still put in order, but they have the group 1 tiers in order. I mean, and the group 2 tiers in order still too. So they do both really, but they have a certain group, a group of this and tier 1 and this tier 2. They said they had 5 tiers, but when I read the article, I couldn't find tier 5.
And by the way, who is the writer in question?
I did not see the national writer. This looks like to be a combination of different writers because it's different way and different thing the way they do the system here. Do you want to go backwards to tier 1, or you want to go forward to tier 1 and go down the list? How you want to do this?
I mean, I feel like tier 1 is pretty obvious, but we can start at 5.
Okay. Well, so there is 5 tiers supposedly, but when I went through the article, I couldn't find tier 5.
So let's just say low tier and work
low tier. Right. So here's tier 4. Okay. Tier 4. Tier 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks.
Okay.
They are the following:
Sam Howell, Baker Mayfield. Let's see, who else are they going to consider to be bad? I'm going to go ahead.
You want to guess this when we run through the list?
Well, for the bottom ones, I know that those are 2 that I have guessed are there, and I'm correct. Also, how are they treating rookie quarterbacks would be my question too. But
this is the weird thing.
Oh, Jordan Love is going to be on there too, by the way.
He's there too. So far you got 3 of them correct. Okay. Here's the rest of tier 4. Okay. Brock Purdy. Kenny Pickett.
Okay, well, somebody's wrong. Yep.
Baker Mayfield. Did you mention that already?
Yes, I did.
Okay. This Ritter and Gardner Minshew. However, he won't be QB1 week 1.
He will not. He will not.
So technically, that should be Anthony Richardson's spot.
So already, this is trash. Congratulations, Athletic, for doing everything you can hurt your reputation and take away from the shine of my good friend Brandon Howard. Bing. Anyway.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. I look. Most of the list is correct.
I mean, granted, this isn't Colin Cowherd bad. With the Dwayne Haskins thing.
We're not going to go there with that one. That was bad. That was a mistake. That was an honest mistake, though. But to be fair, too, also their graphics team did a horrible job too. In addition to not just having his name on the list, also
some staffer got fired. Some staffer stole your money. Whatever.
Yeah. Otherwise, like, should we be shocked that Brock Purdy's that low?
So, and I'm not, the reason why any 49er take right now is virtually unmakeable when it comes to the quarterback position isn't just this year, but last year. I mean, come on, EJ Christian, look at all the bleep that's going on, not to mention when it comes to camp, the different rotations and people and people in the media making everything of anything. And at the end of the day, the 49ers have kind of said, hey, listen, we're probably going to start Brock unless something drastic happens, but can we get through camp? Of course, the media won't let you do that because they have a job to produce content, and I appreciate that. But by the same token, like, everybody has already magically somehow forgotten that nobody was at all certain what was going on with the 49ers quarterback situation, such that everyone was pissed they weren't starting Jimmy G, and at the end of the day, look what happened anyway. So, yeah.
All right.
But other than that, bottom tiers, I'm not mad about that. There is definitely an element of show me more. We don't want to knee-jerk react like some analysts out there have to do, right, EJ?
Yeah, shut up. other than Brock Purdy, I mean, I might even say that I'm mad about that because the sample size is small. I don't have a massive problem with the rest of the list, honestly, but it is what it is. We'll see how it plays out.
Who are the rest of our low tiers, or is that it?
That's it. That's tier 4 there. That's tier 4.
I'll say this, for all the trash I talked on some of the things they've done here with this, I like that they don't put Justin Fields on there. That's a good thing.
Well, I'm glad I said that. So here's tier 3, which is at least 11 quarterbacks. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 quarterbacks. Here's the following quarterbacks in tier 3.
How many rookies are on it?
How many rookies on here? I don't see any in here.
That's fast. Continue.
So I'm assuming tier 5. because there was 30 guys they mentioned, and tier 5. I'm assuming the tier 5 is probably
Bryce
Bryce
Young,
Young and
C.J.
say
Stroud,
Stroud.
Anthony
That's what I'm imagining.
Richardson, who will be
Right.
the starter.
That's why I imagine it'd be the tier 5. I'm
Or
not going to get into that.
obviously, Will Levis will be there too. Ryan Tannehill
Right.
is in this tier as well. I'm willing to bet.
Yes. So right now, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Jared Goff, Russell Wilson.
Why do people hate Derek Carr and Russell Wilson? Well, I know why people hate Russell Wilson. He had one bad year, so obviously we have to throw giant bags of poop on him.
Tua Tagovailoa, your boy Jimmy G.
Whoa, stop. Tua is in 3 out of 4. Someone's an idiot.
Jimmy G, your boy.
Okay.
Daniel Jones, Geno Smith, Justin Fields, Ryan Tannehill, and Mac Jones. So what stood out to you this one?
First of all, Derek Carr being here is an absolute travesty, and obviously nobody has watched any games out west by any stretch of the imagination. Impressionable people who maybe haven't watched the league for, I don't know, beyond 2 seasons before now may be critical of Russell Carrington Wilson. But if this same dolt puts Aaron Charles Rodgers in tier 1 while putting Rusty in tier 3, you have an absolute idiocy problem of people who don't do anything than read other headlines to build their own stories.
More on that later.
More on that later. It's almost if I'm teasing fake outrage knowing this ish is coming without having read the article in question. But continue, EJ Christian.
I'm still Daniel Jones too high.
You think wait. You think Daniel Jones should be bottom tier? He did better than that.
Tier 4, high tier 4, lower tier 3, but high tier 4.
Gosh, it's a good thing you're not a Giants fan. I'd have a lot of questions.
Yeah, something like that. Justin, I guess this list, like Tua would be higher if the injury risk wasn't there. I think they factor that.
That's asinine. It's just absolutely asinine because even still. And maybe maybe this is a way to here's some credit I'll give. Maybe they're low key giving credit to the receiver core, but if you're doing that, then how can you crap on Justin Fields like this? And granted, I would put Fields in tier 2, but there's a small enough sample size where people who are less bold or outright dumb might put Justin Fields in 3. Man, I'm doing a bad job at hiding my shade here. I'm just letting it all hang out.
Wait, how's that any different from you every week when we do this podcast during the fall and every week on the Huddle Up podcast? Bing.
Yeah, when it's not you, bing, and when it's not you, it's just different. Or Mikey Byrne for that matter.
So it's special for me though, of course, because
I put Mikey Byrne in here.
I feel like I feel like I trigger for 10 years been triggering you and nothing's changed.
Oh, is that what it is? And here
I guess so. I'm not trying to do it on purpose. It's end up happening that way. At least your reaction says so. I don't want to tell you about that, buddy.
In fairness, before you try to claim some sort of ism or something, do remember that on the Huddle Up podcast, where our good friend and head of Huddle Up Inc., Big Jim Neese, bing, I have called him a bitch on his own show. So there's that.
Woke Jim.
Jimmy
G feels a little high. I understand his record. He has a good record, but I feel like Jimmy G in Vegas, I don't have very, very high expectations.
And that's my point, though. Like, first of all, they're doing that because of Devontae Adams, which then again, I mean, it does fit with my theory that they're trying to give. If they're trying to give the receivers their shine, you're right. Jimmy G should be a low tier. I don't think Jimmy G belongs low tier. I do believe that he's at 3, and the reason he's at 3 is because you can't help the club in the tub, and which is also, in your defense, EJ Christian, a good reason to put him in tier 4 too. Man, listen, I've been a Jimmy G supporter when he was with the 49ers as somebody who follows the 49ers. Outside of podcasting and stuff. But at some point, and I got there last year, you can't help, going into the preseason, like them starting Trey Lance, I was in favor of that despite being a Jimmy G guy. You can't help the club in the tub.
So he's a mid-tier 3 guy based on this list.
And I'll ask you this. When you're saying mid-tier 3, what is the range? Do this.
Well, it was 11 guys on this list, and they have him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
And this is in order. This is in order. Like I told you, it's still in order.
I got you. So the bottom tier would be 32 through what?
30 to 32 and beyond, I guess.
So 32 and below.
So tier 1 and tier 4 is 1 through 30. So this is why I was saying
Yeah.
that the
Okay.
31,
I didn't
32 is
quite
probably
follow
just
that. I'm like, I thought
right.
you just come out of a baseball podcast or
Right.
something, which
No. No, Derek Carr's be higher than Kyler Murray for the record, too. Of course, first of all, Kyler Murray's not even playing probably half this year, if not most the rest of the year. So why is Derek Carr behind Kyler Murray to begin with, first off? We can argue about tier 1, he should be in tier 2, whatever, it's fine. But if we can put him in tier 3, he should be number 1 in tier 3.
Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
I
This is in order. This is in order, for the record.
I don't know that I'm prepared to put him ahead of Russell Carrington Wilson, but I'm not prepared to put Derek Carr necessarily ahead of I think Rusty is a good one. Tua, if you want to put Derek Carr ahead of Tua, I'm not mad at you. Just because Derek Carr has been doing what Tua's been doing for a longer period of time, I feel like.
Well, that, but I also think they weighed into injury risk. I think if Tua didn't have this risk with him that comes along with him, he'd probably be a tier 2 without a problem.
Yeah,
based on the results.
Well, and I had this conversation with Sensei Jeff Barnes on the Student of the Game podcast. Bing! Derek Carr is now paired with the best defense he's had in his career. So that's what makes him interesting in Nolans. And frankly, if Nolans does not dominate that South Division, you had other problems. Point blank.
Yeah. All right. Here's tier 2. Tier 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. Is that 7? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7 deep. Here we go. Tier 2: Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson, and Kirk Cousins.
Where's Jared Goff in all this, Ernest Christian?
Jared Goff was tier 3. He was tier 3. He was like
after
2 behind.
If you're gonna burn and bam on Russell Carrington Wilson based on last year's performance, you got to put Jared Goff into tier 2, right? I don't know. Anyways,
I feel like Jared Goff is the 1 year sample. Okay, to see more kind of thing. Like I have a problem being in tier 3, but he probably should be on top of tier 3 right next to Derek Carr. Should be ahead of Kyler Murray as well too.
Well, obviously, right. Also, I'm noticing Jalen Hurts. Wait, there are names I haven't heard that I won't spoil here, but the complete and total disrespect for both Jalen Hurts and Lamar Demetrius Jackson is just absolutely stupid here.
So they should be tier 1.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think people are going to say Kirk Cousins is too high. I disagree. I think Kirk Cousins
is absolutely too high, and Jared Goff should be ahead of him. In that sorry division that is the NFC North, once Aaron Charles Rodgers left, that is, the fact that Kirk Cousins is not head and shoulders the best quarterback in that division, hands down, right now, is proof he's a tier 3 quarterback. The reason why that is picked to get to where they get to, his name is Justin Jefferson.
So where they have Kirk Cousins is literally on that border of tier 2 to tier 3. Like he's the lowest. He's the lowest of tier 2.
And by the way, he plays the Eagles this year in prime time. Chalk that bitch up as an L right now.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. I feel like people there's a wait and see thing here. He had a bad half of a quarter of the year last year. Let's see what happens this year.
Well, moreover, listen, he even looked bad in preseason, and I know it's preseason.
Yeah,
I think the tail wags pretty far when it comes which direction Deshaun Watson should go. I think he should go in tier 3 right now because he needs to show us that he can be the villain, and nothing's happened to establish that I believe in that. I think I've expressed this in other places too, and I certainly will get in deeper with it when I talk to our good friend L.A. Broadus of the 3-point conversion on the Student of the Game podcast. Bing! That's coming up in 2 weeks, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Matthew Stafford. I feel like if the injury didn't happen last year, he'd probably be still in tier 1.
See, here we are doing this again, too. Like, you're going to tell me even uninjured John Matthew Stafford is tier 1? I'm not there, and I wouldn't have been there 2 years ago either.
Last year he was coming up with a Super Bowl championship, and we will.
And I still wouldn't call him tier 1.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, listen, it's interesting with because John Matthew Stafford is not a mobile quarterback, and in this day and age, Ernest Christian, we've talked about this on all shows that we've done together. That mobile quarterback is what it is. Experts and people in it from all levels of football I'll just name a few. Michael Vick, you want to call him biased? Cool. How about Jimmy Johnson? You think that's just the NFL saying it? Gus Malzahn of UCF, formerly also the former coach of Auburn in the SEC, and now currently a coach in the Big 12, believes that that's the same sort of direction that football is taking, and the list goes on. The only person that's disagreed with me in person with that there, Ernest Christian, Ndamukong Suh, a guy, by the way, who was just freshly removed from having Thomas Edward Patrick Bieber Brady as a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Little bias there. You see what I'm saying? Punchline is this, Ernest Christian: John Matthew Stafford cannot be a tier 1 quarterback if even if he is healthy, because he cannot move. He cannot be a tier 2 quarterback because we have no idea what his damn status is. And if
he's too high.
Yeah, if you're going to punish Tua Tagovailoa and Russell Carrington Wilson, so too John Matthew Stafford must also be punished for injury.
So Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson have cases tier 1, like you said.
Yes.
I feel like with Jalen Hurts, I feel like it's more the sample being small. Let's see, do it again.
I'm with that, except for one thing. The guy, if it weren't for a miraculous 29-yard run with a bad ankle, who got the actual MVP, if that play didn't happen, Ernest Christian, my vote would have been for Jalen Hurts as the MVP, even if he lost the goddamn game.
Right. In Lamar's case, I believe it's just the injuries last 2 years.
Something injury. I mean, listen, I'm not mad at you for putting it, but by the same token, like, damn, Anyway.
All right, here we go. Tier 1. Well, quick. Your boy Sunshine. Tier 2. That's right.
I'm not mad at it, but I can tell you the way they got there is what's flawed. They're not getting there because of things that Trevor Lawrence himself has said at the podium about his footwork needing to improve. Because whenever he misses the pass, it's like, yeah, I didn't like my footwork. I did this with my feet. Just point blank every time. Super intelligent guy. I don't think that's the question. You know what they're actually doing, Ernest Christian? They're accounting for the fact that his first year he had that many losses. Forget about the fact that he was mired in literally the worst coaching job in history, which that still is. I'm sorry, and no disrespect to Sean Payton and his rant against Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett is only second place. My punchline is this. Urban Meyer is the reason why that win-loss record is so bad, but the problem is not one single person doing a list that's doing tiers has properly accounted for the fact that he was dealing with that as a rookie, that in fact last year was his rookie season, and it's just a crime. Same is true of Travis Etienne, but nobody cares. It's a running back in Jacksonville.
Right. All right, here we go. Tier 1. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Of course, number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
You did not put Justin Herbert in tier 1. You did not put Aaron Charles Rodgers in tier 1. This is not I know. Listen, the cowards don't even have a name in the author for the byline of this damn article. So, yeah, I can't say them. So you as the collective that wrote this, you're cowards. Aaron Charles Rodgers is no longer a tier 1 quarterback, just like you and I years back when Thomas Edward Patrick Bieber Brady was this age, knew that Tom Brady was no longer a top 5. Stop it.
So Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert. These are 5.
So the list, if you're going to do 5, the correct list is Patrick LaVon, Joey Burr. You could put Josh Allen there, but he would be 5th in a list. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
so you would put Jalen Hurts instead of.
I would put in Jalen Hurts ahead of Justin Herbert right now. If Justin Herbert can actually beat the Chiefs this year, we'll talk.
I feel like the Justin Herbert thing, though,
it
feels like Peyton Manning early career. Like he doesn't have like any like success in the playoffs yet, but the physical skills are there.
Your comparison is close. He's actually closer to Steve McNair, who ironically couldn't get out of his own division because of, are you ready, Peyton Williams Manning. So you're close.
Yes. Yeah. I feel like, Peyton Manning could start winning playoff games like 5 years into his career.
The moment that Peyton Williams Manning left the division, suddenly the Titans got better. Anybody else notice that?
Meaning when they went from the AFC Central to AFC South, when they created that field, right?
When Peyton Williams Manning went from the AFC South to the AFC West to play for the Denver Broncos.
I mean, years later that. Okay.
Yeah. I'm thinking that, when what I mean to say is, the moment Curtis, I should have been a painter, was taking starts, that's when the Titans started to take the division. You notice that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not to talk trash on the Titans. There's plenty of other legitimate reasons to do that. Oh!
Anyway. Oh, yeah, definitely. Is it okay? So Rodgers, I'm not gonna argue on that one
Tier 2.
because I can see the argument for both. I can see the argument both ways.
No, you
that.
can't, because the argument is based on history, not on potential. And for Christ's sake, the guy was already injured in camp. You're trying to tell me he's going to make it 17 games as a damn 38-year-old?
I feel like this is based on expectations more than else.
Bingo.
Because
so there is no argument. There is only.
Well, that's the argument to your point that if I would put him tier 2, it's for that reason. Like he did slip last year. We have to acknowledge that.
No, I don't think so. This is where I disagree. It's not about last year. To me, that puts him in tier 2. Sorry, tier. Yeah, I don't put him in tier 2 because of necessarily what happened with the Packers and stuff last year. A lot of ish went wrong last year. That wasn't Aaron Charles Rodgers, right? Like, let's be clear. How many injuries were there around Aaron Charles Rodgers? What other stuff was just going wrong everywhere that had nothing to do with Aaron Charles Rodgers? And by the way, I think we're figuring out Matt LaFleur is not half as good a coach as people were trying to tell us.
We're going to find out this year, definitely. If we're still on the fence right now, we're about to find out this year, buddy.
Ain't nobody on the fence. Listen, if you stuck with Jordan Love like this and you let yourself get manipulated by a franchise quarterback, you're a bad head coach, period. I'm not saying I could have done it better. Let me be clear. I might have K'd the Lord Ayahuasca myself. I'm not saying I'm a better man. I'm just saying you need a better man to run that franchise.
Right. All right. I want to
Robert Saleh ain't gonna play that. He's gonna take some receipts, Ernest Christian. You know this.
Right. He did say that last year. All right.